I'm gonna get some shots going around this.
Yep, we are recording. All right, get it. All right, what's up, everybody? This is Steph Love. Thank you for coming back and joining me this evening. Check it. Tonight, sipping with me is my homeboy, my brother, Robert Webb, also known as ByLaw.
We in here.
Yes, yes. So real quick about Robert, he's an educator, a consultant. He's a talented pianist, rapper, singer. I mean, he got
Bars.
some heat all day, all day.
Talk to the people. Tell them what's up, Steph Love. Tell them what's up.
So before we jump into this thing tonight, we introduced the topic. Now I'm sipping on a Jersey-based wine right now. It's called Pinot Gris. It's nice little light white wine, a little dry.
Okay.
What you got going on over there?
Before we started talking, I was like, I'm gonna go get the red Moscato. I just kind of got put on this particular red Moscato. It's called Electra Moscato. Okay. It's a red, but they also have a white. So when you were talking about you were sipping on the white, you know what I mean? I wanted to rock with what you was rocking with. So I, switched it up and I went, and Stella Rosa has a Moscato, but it's a platinum Moscato. Shit. Let me tell you. Hey, check it out. You need to check that one out. So I'm sipping on, this Stella Rosa platinum Moscato. We got work to do in the morning. So we can't be turned,
Right. Can't be turned all the way up. Oh man. I'm so thankful that you are joining me tonight. I wanted to talk to you because we've connected on so many levels, and we just heard about this entanglement situation, and when that all popped off, I'm telling you, bro, I was triggered. Triggered, right? And we hopped on that live and we were talking about it. We had some really great conversation that night, and I wanted us to really continue the conversation because we have a lot in common, and I really recognize that from listening to the music. So if y'all haven't already checked it out, Icebox Volume 1, the mixtape, man, Beto and ByLaw is real. I keep it bumping. But there was so much in that, and I was like, man, I gotta go deep with him. I gotta go deep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you sent me some unreleased music, and I was like, oh, he done been.
Oh yeah, now we getting into the weeds for real. Icebox wasn't even the tip of the iceberg, if you will, of like the levels to which I've written music. It comes from a real authentic place. And you heard that in some of the lyrics. You can hear it in the pain in the voice.
Yeah.
So yeah, Icebox was like the start of me really talking about how I felt the last 5 years of my life and the things that I've gone through. So Icebox Volume 1, Beto and ByLaw. Go get that on all digital music platforms. Shout out to the homie Beto, Flat 5 Studios. You did. All right, we got that out.
Yeah. But one of the things that we also discovered, right, in listening to the music, is that we are both divorcees.
Right.
And we have had some experiences in love. And so now I only did it once, man. I only did it once. I want to do it again. It's unclear, but you did it twice already.
Man, I got back on the ride, man. I got off the ride, and I guess it was so good, like I was at the fair. I stood back in line to get on it again. And that's a cycle, and that could be toxic, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is, it's okay to go get back in line, but if you're not going to change like the person that you are, and you're going to go back and make the same mistakes, then that's definitely toxic. So there's nothing wrong. So I hear you say, you thinking about going back, there's nothing wrong with it, but you definitely have to take the time to say, okay, what type of person am I going to be? Like, who do I want to be? And when you decide the type of person that you want to be, that's when you know what you want. Because there are a lot of people who want something that they are not willing to become to get. Ooh. Like, if I want a house
Mm.
I need to get my finances in order. If my credit score isn't high enough, I'm not going to be able to qualify for a home loan.
Right.
So I can want a house all day long, but if I'm not willing to become financially sound and do the work that I need to do so I can get the house, then I'll never get it. So a lot of people say they want something that they are not willing to become that thing to obtain it, if you
Right.
will.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
ain't
Yeah.
nothing wrong with wanting to go back and get on the ride. We just got to decide, like, man, who we gonna be.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that sometimes we jump into these situations because it's cute. We start seeing everybody on social media with their little engagement announcements or their cute wedding photos, and that day is cute, right? Or those 2 days are cute, but marriage takes a lot of work, and you can't stay in it with your representative on because you can't hold a representative up for a lifetime, So definitely before entering into marriage, heck, any relationship really is knowing who you are, um, what you're bringing to the table, and being open to growing, And I don't think a lot of people think about that. They just want to wear the cute outfit.
Huh. They want
Right.
to look good.
Look, yes, yes,
They
yes.
want to look good in that white dress, in that nice tuxedo, but they don't want to get it dirty.
Mm-mm,
And people don't understand that I was an athlete in high school and in college. And
mm-hmm.
having a clean jersey let us know, bro, you won't get no game time. Why is your jersey snow white, my guy? You ain't getting in the game. So,
Right.
so that lets me know, like, you ain't got no battle scars, man. Like,
Mhm.
I heard somebody say a while ago, a knight, we always talk about we want a knight in shining armor. I want a knight in shining armor. Well, I heard this saying that says a knight in shining armor has never had his metal tested. If
Woo.
your armor is shining, you ain't been in no battle, because people who have been in battles, they stuff is beat up, bruised up. So people want the shiny armor, and then they wonder why their relationships and their marriages don't work because it ain't ever been through nothing.
Right. Wow. Yeah. So you've had a journey. Um, you gonna go in for the third time? You gonna get back online the third time?
Man, yeah. Like, honestly and truthfully, like, I'm ready. Like, um, I don't want to say I'm ready to go get married tomorrow, but
Yeah.
as I said before, I know the type of man that I want to be, so I'm working towards that. Um, there's a young lady right now that, like, if she was like, I'm ready, let's do this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, shit, let's ride. Like, that's where I am,
Mm-hmm.
because I've done the work for myself. Now, my identity is not tied into being with her,
Mm-hmm.
but as a man, I know what I want,
Right.
right? And that's who I want, and that's who I desire. So, man, yeah.
So you talked about the work, right? And knowing who you are now. So can you talk a little bit about that? Because I think, we tend to throw out these phrases and things like that, but not everybody understands what it means to go from that divorce state to becoming the person you want to become, to be ready for that next
Right.
relationship.
So, I tell my friends this all the time, especially my guy friends. Like, before you can know what type of woman you want, you got to figure out what type of man you gonna be. Um, and the work for me, and I can't speak for everybody else, the work for me starts at, Robert, you got to be honest with yourself.
Mm,
Like, there's some mistakes that you've made in your life. There's some patterns that you've repeated in your life.
yeah.
So you need to fix those things. So the first step for me was admitting that in my life, sometimes I ain't been shit. Now, is it okay if I cuss on here, or do I need to, like, tailor that back?
We going in. Go on. Go
Okay,
on.
we're going in, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I real life had to sit down with myself and say, bro, you ain't been shit sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I painted this picture of who I thought I was, but that wasn't really who I was,
Right.
right? So I had to come to grips with, Robert, you're not the man that you think you are, but you do have the capacity to be that person. So I started looking at the things that I need to change. Okay, Robert, you've had an issue with being faithful in your relationships. Why is that? So
Ooh.
then you got to go layers deep on this, right? Robert, you're really not that good with managing your money. So the first two things I just mentioned are like the two top reasons marriages do not work. Cheating and money. Yeah. So before I can go out here and align myself and connect myself with another person, I need to fix these things on the inside of me. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going to fix it overnight. No, it's a process, and you want somebody to be with you during that process, not to baby you and be a safety net, but somebody to hold you accountable, right? I think it doesn't matter if you're by yourself forever or if you're with somebody, everybody is processing, right? So that's where the work started for me. Looking at myself, watch this, and being honest with myself, and then deciding who I wanted to be and taking the steps to get there. I also started seeing a therapist, a counselor, whatever. So let's go ahead and dispel this myth right here. Black people, it is okay to go sit down and talk to a therapist.
Talk about it.
Like, we shy away from that in the Black community. Like, nah, like, I ain't crazy. Nah, you got some issues deep down on the inside that you need to fix, because what happens is when you don't fix those issues within yourself, you'll find yourself dealing with the next person and speaking to the next person out of some stuff that happened 5 years ago. So you could be dating Keisha, but you still mad at Roshonda. So you ain't really talking to Keisha, you talking to Roshonda. Because now you like, I want to say all the stuff or do all the stuff I should have did the last time all of this happened. Well, no, it ain't it ain't Keisha's fault. Right. What happens is you didn't heal from Roshonda. So now you've taken this into your next relationship, and you can't do that. Right? You got to deal with all of that yourself. So me knowing that as a man, like, I can't blame nobody else. I say it like this. Somebody hurt you and they were responsible for the hurt that they caused, or you were responsible for the hurt that you caused somebody else. But it is also your responsibility to heal. Watch this. Steph Love, you could have hurt me. You are responsible for the insecurity that I have now. But I'm also responsible to heal on my own. I posted on Facebook the other day, people are not obligated to care or understand what you're going through.
Facts.
It is up to you to get up and go and do the work to heal. Because if you're sitting around here waiting on somebody else to come tell you they sorry, you're going to be messed up. So that's the work that I had to do. Like, look at myself. Like, really say, like, Robert, why did you do that? Okay. And then watch this. Sometimes our actions, or the root of our actions, can be found like in our past somewhere, whether that be how you grew up as a child, what you experienced growing up as a child, all of this. You got to go back and look at all of that. And a lot of people, Steph Love, they're not willing to do that because it scares them. But whoever's listening to this right now, self-improvement and healing is scary, but it's beautiful once you recognize and understand what you used to be and what you used to do versus what you're becoming and what you're destined to be. Those are totally different things. But everybody wants to put up this facade like they got it together. And I had to tell myself, you ain't got it together.
At all. And, you know, to touch on the therapist thing, I've been through a couple of therapists, because I break up with therapists easily. That's something I got to work on. But one of those things I was able to deal with while I was trying to process my divorce is the reason why I got married in the first place. It's not that I didn't love her. I did, but it wasn't like love. It was like puppy love, infatuation. And at the core of it, I put myself in competition with my father. So my father, right? So my father, I am the only child between my mother and my father. So my father's stepfather to my siblings on my mother's side. And I saw the opportunity because this young lady, she had 2 kids, and I was like, yo, you know, my papa, he does not have a great relationship with all of my siblings. And so watch me roll into here and show him, like, I'm gonna do this step parent thing, and I'm gonna ace it. And I failed. I failed those kids. I failed that marriage. I mean, 90% of the issues in the marriage is her fault. Let's put that out there. But I'm gonna I want to say I did have a hand in why we didn't work, because you can't sit in a relationship, especially not a marriage, and if it doesn't work, and say that none of it was your fault. Like, if you dig deep enough, you're gonna find something where you had a hand in why it didn't last. But yeah, like when I noticed that, I was like, bruh, you still on that? Like, why am I in competition with my father? So that's even more stuff for me to explore, and I think quarantine has really given me the opportunity to sit and dig in,
Yeah.
and have those tough conversations with myself about, you got some growing to do before you think you're going to jump in and love somebody else,
Right.
and love them the way that they're supposed to be loved, not the way you decided they should be loved.
Ooh, that right there is good. That's something I think about all the time. How you said, you need to love somebody how they need to be loved versus how you decide they need to be loved. And then we could go down a whole list of what is their love language, how do they interpret love, right? And once again, that goes back to how they were raised, and what they saw growing up.
Right.
And I'm glad you said the competition piece, because this is something that I had to tell myself a couple of years ago, because I'm a daddy's boy. Like, I look up to my dad. I love my dad. Like, I'm trying to be my dad. And it's easy to get in competition, like you said, or to try to go after something that you will never catch up with. Because I have to think about it this way. Things happen over time, not overnight. So my daddy is like 63. I'm 32. I'll never catch him.
Yeah.
Right? I have to give myself time like he gave himself time. I think we strive so much to be our parents, or do the things that they've done, or outdo them at an early age, and we don't give ourselves time to like live. My mom and dad have been married like 30 plus years. And growing up, I was like, I'm going to be married to one woman, and I'm just going to be like my mom and my daddy. And shit, you see where I'm at now. I've married and divorced twice. I got married when I was 23. I've been married and divorced. So it's 2018. The first time I got married was in 2011. So from 2011 to 2018, that's 7 years. In 7 years, I've been married and divorced twice. Growing up.
How does that happen?
Because one of on me, right? Making poor decisions. I was unfaithful in my first marriage. I was unfaithful in my second marriage. And let me say this. There is no good reason to be unfaithful.
Right.
But let's be honest. There are some contributing factors to why people cheat. Listen to me. I'm not saying that it's okay to cheat.
Yeah.
I'm saying that there are some contributing factors to why people cheat. It doesn't make it right. Okay? That's not what I'm saying. I'm not condoning cheating. So I don't want nobody to be like, oh yeah, but ByLaw was on there. Robert Webb was on there saying, yeah, it's okay to cheat. No, that's not what I'm saying.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I'm saying the first time I got married, I was unfaithful, but that's a whole so the first time I got married, I was 23. The young lady that I married was 29. So I married somebody 6 years older than me. So we got married, and then I was still in school. So we got married, and I think I had 1 year left of school. So I was like, look, we're going to get married, and I'm going to move where you are, because we were doing the long distance thing.
Yeah.
So we got married, and she was like, and I told her, I said, well, I'm getting ready to transfer. And she was like, what are you going to transfer for? You got 1 year left. You don't need to throw, credits away to transfer. And I'm like, we're married. I want to be where my wife is.
Yeah.
But she had to be in control, right? She's older, she seemingly had her life together. So she felt like the decisions that she could, the decisions that she made were sound decisions. And I'm like, this makes absolutely no sense for us to be married and then you go back to where you are and then I'm gonna finish my last year of school. So anyway, so once I graduated, I ended up moving and then the infidelity comes out, right? And somebody can tell you that they love you and they forgive you, but forgiveness and love is shown in your actions. I can tell you all day long, I forgive you, but if you just gonna walk around the house mad and upset, holding stuff against me, then you ain't really forgave me for real.
Yeah.
So we just really just walking around, right? So anyway, I ended up leaving and moving back to the South. And I reconnected with my high school sweetheart. And then a few months later, my divorce was final. And then probably like 6, 7, 8 months later, I ended up marrying again. But the second time I got married, I wasn't ready. Definitely was not ready. Definitely rushed into it. We found out we were pregnant before we got married, and then we decided to go ahead and get married. I'm not saying that was like the determining factor. I knew I was gonna marry her, right? But I hadn't done the work on my end to heal. I hadn't done the work on my end to really look at those issues and be like, okay, Robert, why were you unfaithful the last time? Robert, are you sure you're ready? Like you need to like really sit with yourself and spend some time by yourself to figure out who you're gonna be. Because you can save yourself a whole lot of heartache and pain and somebody else a whole lot of heartache and pain. Now, let's be very clear. The second marriage was toxic, crazy, crazy. We won't go into all of that, but yeah. And I got to a point where I was just like, I can't do this no more. So, and then in this marriage, I ended up having 2 kids, 2 girls, beautiful girls.
They are beautiful.
And that adds a whole different layer of issues and challenges, right? So that's how I ended up, where I am with the whole being married and divorced twice. I don't blame either one of them at all. And I pride myself on the fact that although they may have badmouthed me to other people, I haven't done that to them. But maybe because I bear the weight of it all. You know what I mean? Like I feel guilty. You know what I mean? Well, I used to feel guilty because I'm definitely over that shit now. Let's be very clear. Let's be very clear. Life is good for your boy. You understand? I ain't making $1 million, but the peace that I have in my life right now is more valuable than money can buy. Let's be very clear. So that's how I ended up where I am. Poor decisions, not taking time to do the work that I needed to do for myself before I went out here and like tried to connect with somebody else.
Yeah, and that's real. I think some people are so afraid of being alone that instead of taking that time to understand who they've become now that they've come out of that relationship and who they want to be and work toward that, they just jump from, bed to bed, person to person. And along the way, you are harming not only yourself, but those people as well. Because like you said, you taking stuff out on Keisha that the other shorty did it, and it doesn't work out.
Right.
The first and only relationship that I got into after my divorce was finalized, I wasn't ready. I was not ready. I was scared of making the same mistakes that I made getting into this marriage because I'm a Leo. We love love.
Right.
And I'll get married in a heartbeat. Give me the ring. Come on. Baby, let's get married. Like it's going down.
Let's go.
And it was like we're gonna do this thing, and I have to make smarter moves. I think sometimes we either look at it as we just crazy in love, and love is gonna make it last forever, or it's a business transaction and we are just combining assets to make sure that we can live this life that social media has told us that we're supposed to live. Like I'm not gonna lie, when the woman that I married, I was like, "What's your salary?" Okay, add that with mine. We both got that good state insurance. Yo, we a six-figure family, boo. Like, let's go do this. And so what I imagine a six-figure family looking like, look, nothing like that, because I never asked how are you with your finances, right?
Right.
Can you manage money? You know,
Right.
and walking into that next relationship, like good woman, good woman. If I could, I probably would act accordingly and try to take that leap with her. But all of that trickled in, because even though I have been separated, and the divorce process took like 2 years, and I didn't see anybody, you would think, oh well, Steph, you had 2 years to do that work. No, I was 2 years at war. I never set to do the work to say, okay, Stephanie, where did you slip up? Where do you need to improve? Who do you want to be? And who have you become? And too often we do that and we hurt other people along the way. You know?
Man, yeah. That's the thing that happened to me. While I was separated, the young lady that I was actually referencing, like there's this young lady that like if she was like, hey, let's go, like I would like definitely be like, hey, let's do this.
Yeah.
So like she and I met like while I was separated. And instantly like connection, it was crazy vibes. Like it was just like, man, this is what I've like been missing. But it wasn't right because one, I was still legally married.
Right.
Right. So I really, even though I committed to her, it was false because I'm still committed somewhere else legally.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So it all started off wrong. It don't mean that she ain't right for me. It just it started wrong. And if I really cared about her, right? If I was really ready to move on, I would have taken the necessary steps. I would have got a divorce, right? Now let me say this. It wasn't like I was saying, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna leave my wife for you." No, I was clearly done with my marriage. Like, wasn't living there anymore. Like, none of that. Like, wasn't sleeping together. None of that. I was done, but I didn't do the work, right? So of course that caused issues, and you know, ended up being unfaithful to her, right? So it ended, like ended our relationship, right? So definitely you have to take that time to like do the work. And I know I've done the work that I need to do because it's so easy for me to talk about this stuff. Like I don't claim to be perfect. And that's not an excuse to go make a mistake. But if somebody listening to this right now, if one person can be helped by the conversation we're having, then I'm cool with it, right? Because the only way you're gonna do the work, you got to be 100%, you know, honest with yourself. And I was thinking about that today. I was thinking about, you know, therapy and how people are going to see therapists. But let me say this: going to therapy or seeing a therapist is a waste of time if you're not going to be honest with yourself.
Oh,
Because you can go to therapy and not be honest.
Yeah.
So why go into therapy trying to help yourself, but you ain't honest with yourself? That's why I told you, like, I legit had to like sit down with myself and be like, nigga, you ain't shit sometimes.
Yeah.
Like in your life, you ain't been shit. You been an ain't shit ass nigga. You been a fuckboy. Like, I'm for real. And that's what I'm saying. Like, people be walking around here like they got it all together. Like, no, sir. No, sir. Robert Curtis Webb, aka ByLaw, ain't perfect. None of that. Ain't had it all together. I'm still a work in progress, and I'm doing the work that I need to do now. But if you ain't gonna be honest with yourself, you ain't gonna never heal. Now, I'm not saying beat yourself up because that's what I did. Self-reflection turned into self-condemnation after so long. You stand at the mirror looking at yourself all damn day like, bro, I gotta fix this. I gotta fix that. I gotta fix this. And at one point, you know, God was like, look, bro, the longer you stand in the mirror looking at your imperfection, the less time you have to live in this world to apply the stuff that you've learned, right? You can't spend so much time at the drawing board that you failed to go draw or manifest what's been on the board.
Yeah.
So give yourself time to reflect and heal, and then go live your life, because you're going to continue to make mistakes. You're human, but learn from those things.
And that's the biggest part too, like learning from your past mistakes, learning from the mistakes that you're going to make on your journey to being a better you, and being able to forgive yourself in those times, and understanding that forgiveness is a process. There are things that I have to forgive myself for over and over and over again. There are things I have to forgive other people for over and over and over again.
Uh-huh.
And I don't think that we do a good enough job as humans and saying like, you misstep, own it, atone for it,
Right.
move forward. We stay stuck in that and beating ourselves up, and so I think once you start doing that, then you can start being honest, not only with yourself, but then the person that you decide to live your life with.
Right.
And if we're not doing that, like, Boo Boo needs to know, like, I got triggered by X, Y, and Z. When we had this fight or when we went to this place or whatever, I got triggered. And that's why I acted out. I apologize to you. Let me give you background. Don't just say sorry without no explanation, or don't not explain or say sorry at all. Like, you should know, I got trauma. What is your trauma, baby? Because I need to know how to move with you.
Right. And I think a lot of people use that as an excuse. Once again, I'm not Tyrone. So don't be talking to me like you talking to Tyrone, because I'm not him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like, yeah, that background, once again, that background is crucial. Like, if I said chicken and then you snapped, I need to know why you snapping, because I said chicken.
Right.
So I can make sure not to say chicken again. But at the same time, don't sit there and not go work on the fact that you snapping at the word chicken. You need to go do some chicken work. Go do some chicken work. Okay, go do some chicken work.
Right.
But just know I'm going to move differently and support you through this, because clearly something from your past was so hurtful and painful that it got you reacting this way. And I need you to know and understand that I'm not Tyrone from your past. Some years ago, I was thinking, like, because people talk about I got baggage. Like, I need people to be able to accept the fact that I got baggage. And after so long, I was like, you know what? It's selfish for me to expect you to unpack some baggage from a trip that you ain't go with me on.
Yeah. Talk about it. Come on and preach.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you weren't with me back in 2009 when I was dealing with all of this stuff. So I can't hold you responsible. Now, if you gonna align yourself with me and connect with me and say you love me and care about me and you want to be with me, then there is a level of like support that you need to give me, right? But you're not responsible. And I think people get those things twisted. Like, no, you need to be able to accept me for who I am. Well, then that just means that you ain't trying to grow.
Right.
I don't like when people say, well, it is what it is. This is how I am. If you don't like it, then you can move around. Come on, that ain't healthy. That's toxic. Especially if we trying to be together, we gotta change some kind of way. So you can't expect people to unpack that. It would be selfish of me to expect anybody to unpack some baggage from a trip that they didn't go on. That's my responsibility.
Yeah. I might let you look at the luggage, be like, look, stay over there. I'm doing this, but I want you to be able to see, you know what I mean? So that you know how to move with me. And I'm not expecting you to unpack it with me. I'm not expecting you to fix me. I think especially women, we be like, let me save you. I need to heal you. I love you. No, I need to heal me, and I need to love me in order to be able to love you. Because if I don't love me, I damn sure ain't gonna love you, right?
I'm trying to tell you, like, you ain't got to listen. I ain't got to help you unpack the bags. Matter of fact, how about we go look at the conveyor belt together and be like, now that's that 2009 bag, baby girl. You don't need to pick that up no more.
I like that.
That ain't yours. That's not your bag. 2009 is not your bag anymore, baby. This is 2000. This is 2020. I got you. ByLaw got you. And I know you got these issues, but we ain't gonna pick this bag up. We're gonna leave it. We're gonna leave this shit here, right? Yeah. I think that's important, right? But like allowing people to continue to like pick up stuff, nah, that's why I'm open, honest, and transparent right now in my life. Like with anybody that I deal with, like especially women, like who are interested, like in me. I'm honest with them. Like, look, here's what I'm ready for. Here's what I'm not ready for. Like, I'm working on issues that I have, and I appreciate your fondness. Like, really, I do. But I'm trying to get done with the first leg of this healing.
Yeah.
Because this is the first time in a long time that I've been single.
Wow.
Like, my divorce was final in 2018, and I haven't been in a relationship since then. Like an official, like,
yeah,
this is my girl.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
This is the longest I've gone.
Yeah.
Because subconsciously, I was always like, man, I meet this person, they cool, we start vibing, and then I make it more than what it should be. So I build a house where I should have pitched a tent.
Oh, you trying to build a foundation on soggy ground, man.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm building something permanent where I was only just supposed to like meet you and like you deposit something in my life, I deposit something in your life, and we're better because we met.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people try to make temporary things permanent, and then they get stuck. Trying to figure out how I'm gonna get out of this, because how am I gonna get out of this? Well, you should have never been there. You were supposed to pitch a tent, and you built a whole house. I watched have you seen Dion Cole's Cold Hearted on Netflix?
No.
Oh my God, you need to go watch that.
Okay.
Hilariously funny. But he says something in his stand-up, and he says a lot of you all married on a level you should have been passing on. Ooh. It's like you ran into this brother and you was like, oh, you fine. But I'm gonna go ahead and go up to these other levels, and then I may or may not come back. Like you married on a level you should have been passing on.
Yep.
Like once again, you connected yourself to something that you should have been like, you connected yourself to something for 10 years and you should have only been there 1 year.
Ow. Oh, you are in my business.
I'm just saying. But hindsight, and I can't even say hindsight is 2020 no more. Let me tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this funny little conversation I had with a good friend of mine. He's a comedian. His name is Derek Keener. Look him up on YouTube. He's from my city. Dope. And then Beto, aka Brandon Wilkins. We were all at Wingstop, and this was around the time that me and the young lady that I met while I was separated, we broke up.
Yeah.
And you know, of course I'm like, man, like I legit like wanted to be with her. I was like, after I got divorced the second time, I was like, man, I ain't finna get married no more. I got kids. I'm done. I'm about to live my life. And what happened, I met this young lady and she changed my whole perspective. Like she showed me like new depths and new levels of love. Like I thought I was like done. I ain't got no more to give. And she was like, nah, you got a whole lot more to give, right? So anyway, so I'm sitting at this table in Wingstop and we're having this conversation. And I'm like, man, you know, I messed up and I really love her and I want to be with her. And I messed around and I said, you know, hindsight is 2020. And Derek Keener, the comedian, my boy, was like, fuck hindsight. Nigga, where are your glasses? So we say hindsight is 2020, but then we don't ever like put on our glasses to get clarity to move forward. Yeah. You can keep looking back all you want to. Forget hindsight. Where your glasses at so you can see what you're doing this time around. Yeah. Like you know how to move differently this time around. So yeah, it's definitely work. It takes work. That a lot of people aren't willing to give. But yeah, a lot of people married on a level they should have been passing on. And then watch this, because you want to honor the institution of marriage, you in some shit that you really want to get out of. Woo! So you stay because you think you being loyal, but you unhappy. Yeah. And a lot of times, even in your friendships, loyalty can turn into slavery. Some
Mm.
people need to get rid of some friends that they've been friends with for a long time, but because you want to remain loyal,
Yeah.
now you connected to something that ain't serving you no more.
Man, yo, you got me so triggered right now, bro. Like, let me tell you, there was, I think like after the first time I realized that my ex-wife was like not faithful. Like she hadn't physically done anything, but you know, emotional cheating. Um, I was like, yo, I need to go. But I said I took these vows, so I'm gonna have to eat this. And I was so miserable. I was miserable. And each time she screwed up, I'm like, all right. And I'm like, man, I'm just like stuck in this. And then I gave myself excuses, right? Like, all right, I'm gonna just wait till the kids finish school, and once they go off to college, then I can be free. And it's like, come on, man, like the damage that you do to yourself, staying in a space that you ain't got no business staying in is ridiculous. And by doing that, you not just harm yourself, but you harming everybody else. And I gotta always think back and be like, man, what did I do to those babies? You know what I mean? And like, how do I get the opportunity, if I ever get the opportunity, to be able to apologize to them? Because we get into these situations and we don't think about the little humans that we drag along in that
Right.
too, right? Either we done made a child together or children together, or I'm a step parent or whatever, and we don't really think about how our adult actions are drastically impacting the way those kids will move in their adult life because of
Right.
our stupidity. Now we done traumatize the babies. Man.
Right. Most definitely. And I'll say this for you. What happened was the idea of you all sticking together looked good, but the reality of it was not. And
Mm-hmm.
people get caught up in the idea of it and not the reality of it. So in my second marriage, I got two beautiful girls, and I fought in my mind like you need to stay to work it out for the kids, but I'm miserable.
Yeah.
Like like this is toxic. Like we can't keep doing this. Somebody gonna die.
Yeah.
Like this is gonna turn out really really bad. So I had to really get to a place where I said, okay, Robert, like I know the idea of your kids growing up in a two-parent home, because society will make you feel like if you grew up in a single-parent household, then you behind. No, you
Yeah.
gotta look at your family. Like I my second ex-wife, her parents are still together. My parents are still together. Her mom is an educator, and my mom and my dad, they're retired now, but they were both in education.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not worried about my children not doing well in school because they got education all around them.
Right.
I'm not worried about them not growing up with good examples because they got good examples around them,
Yeah.
right? So I had to get past the idea of what I grew up in and accept the reality of, Robert, this is not healthy. And every time y'all try to work it out, and every time y'all try to come to the table and compromise, it just doesn't work. And
Yeah.
it takes more, and your blood pressure is up, your health starts failing, and you like, I can't keep doing this.
Yeah.
So the idea of a thing, it may look beautiful, but the reality of it, And I'm not saying that you don't need to be loyal or be committed to your relationship, right? But if it's draining you and it's killing you daily, and the person you're with isn't watering you, isn't supporting you,
Mm-hmm.
isn't speaking life into you, then you in something that you need to get out of, because you're going to continue to make excuses as to why you're staying,
Yep.
and then your life is going to pass you by. That's why when you ask me, would I be married again? Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know who I am, and I know that I'm willing to do the work that it takes to really be in love. I
Yeah.
don't want to say to be in love, to really personify and be the true example of what love really is. That's why when people ask me, do I have deal breakers? I tell them no.
Talk
I don't
about
have deal breakers.
talk about that.
Um, huh?
Talk about that a little more.
Well, because I mean, my explanation of this goes to, you know, my upbringing, you know, being in the church. Like my father's a pastor.
Mhm.
I'm also a licensed minister, Baptist minister, you know, by my father.
Uh-huh.
But I think about the love that like Christ has for us. And he didn't have no deal breakers. As a matter of fact, he died for Negroes who would never accept him. Think about that. He died for the entire world,
Mhm.
right? Died
Yeah.
for everybody. And he died knowing that some people wouldn't even accept him.
Yeah.
He
Wow.
didn't have a deal break,
Yeah.
right? So I'm not saying that we got to be stupid. Like if somebody cheating on you like every day, like you need to stay there. But I'm
Right.
saying that there are some challenges that if you say you in love and you with somebody, it's some stuff that you got to go through. Like if your relationship, that's why when people be like, man, we've been married for 30 years, we ain't got into an argument one time. Y'all ain't married
Right.
then. Y'all ain't married.
Right.
Y'all just roommates for real. You've
Yeah.
been married 30 years and y'all ain't never got into it. You ain't never thought about leaving. Like you
Yeah.
ain't, you can't counsel me then. You can't give me no advice. I need some
Real.
folks that's done been in the trenches throwing hands. Not maybe not with each other, but you know, just like it's been a challenge for them to like be together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had to get past that. My daddy's reality and my daddy's marriage ain't me. It's not.
Yeah.
So once I stopped trying to chase the dream and chase the image that my parents had and really started living my own life,
Yeah.
then that's when I became more at peace with who I am and really started to understand like, okay, because for me, whoever I get married to or get in a relationship with this last time, love and marriage and relationships is going to look like whatever we say it is. I don't give a damn
Mm.
about social media. I
Yeah.
don't care if your mom and them was married for 40 years. I don't care if they were divorced. Love and marriage and relationships is going to be what we say it is. That's why um with the whole Will and Jada thing, I'm like, if that's what their marriage is or their relationship is, I can't tell them that they wrong. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and it kills me when church folks talk about stuff like that, because I be like, well, you know, you're reading a Bible where King Solomon had like 900 and some odd concubines. David had more than one wife, right? And
Right.
that was okay.
Right.
So for y'all to turn around and be like trying to condemn, I'm like, really? But the Bible anyway. But that's a whole nother
Yeah.
conversation that
Yeah.
people
That.
ain't trying
Woo.
to get on, right? Right?
Yeah.
We ain't gonna. We'll do another podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
We'll
but that
link up on that.
right. But that's what I'm saying about. That's why love, marriage, relationship, connections, whatever. You and the other person need to decide what does it look like for us, and
Mm.
I believe that that's how you should be with someone. Let
Yeah.
people speculate, say whatever they want to say, but at the end of the day, it's all about you and the other person you with. Forget everybody else and what they got to say about how y'all living y'all life. Because the
Absolutely.
same way, because at the end of the day, everybody gonna be judged on the same day.
Talk about it. You know. Yeah. So here's my question. My final question to you is: someone just stepping out of a divorce, right? And trying to figure out like, should I do this love thing again? Is it worth it? Like, what does love look like after divorce? Like, what would be your key statement to them? What would be your final words to those people trying to figure it out?
Folks that are trying to figure it out. Um, I would number one, listen to this podcast. Let's be very clear. Listen to this. We said a lot of good things in this, right? And this, once again, isn't even the tip of the iceberg. But it really goes back to like you need to take some time to figure out who you are. Because when you go through these things, you change.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I used to say I was a hopeless romantic, right?
Yeah.
Um, and I feel like I still am at the core, but a lot of these things have like suppressed that and covered it up,
Yeah.
right? And it's made me a little guarded. So I don't really just give people that because I'm like, I don't know if they're worth it. They may turn around and like, take it for granted or hurt me. So you got to figure out, okay, who are you going to be? Like,
Mm-hmm.
are you going to let this define you? And I want to tell you that it doesn't define you. What defines you is how you pick yourself up and how you move forward. So
Yeah.
know and understand that there is life and love after divorce.
Mm.
Like, you're going to have to get over the disappointment. You're going to have to get over the thought of you failing, right? Because I believe even though you may have it, it may not be your fault that you're divorced, especially with women. Like, I feel like you all you shoulder the responsibility, even if you're not wrong. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It does.
you're not wrong, but then you be looking at yourself. It's like if a man or, a woman cheat on you, you be like, well, what is it about me that would have made? So then you start looking at yourself, and it ain't got
Mm-hmm.
nothing to do with you. It got everything to do with how the other person feels about them.
Yes.
So you got to get past the whole disappointment and failure like it's your fault, right? Feel how you feel, taking all of that emotion, but don't stay there. Don't stay there. Pick yourself up and move forward. If you need to go to counseling, go to counseling. But once again, let me tell you this. You, counseling is good. Seeing a therapist is good. But you can't stay there the whole time because watch this. You got to go out and apply what you're learning in therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're going to see your therapist twice a week or twice a month. If you're not applying the principles or the practices that they are telling you to try, you're going to be in the same place. I'm
Yep.
also going to say this. Don't, after the divorce, don't try to make yourself look like something that you're not. Like, don't put up a facade. Don't try to make it seem like you got it all together and like your life ain't jacked up, because that's just gonna jack your life up even more. You out here trying to look like you got it all together, baby girl. We know you and John ain't together. We know y'all ain't together. We
Right.
saw
Right.
him with Lisa. We saw him with Lisa the other night, so we know y'all not together. And that's why, this is good. That's why people ask you questions about your life, not because they want information, but because they done already seen it. So that's what I'm saying. You got to live in the truth of what has happened to you. It doesn't define you, but what defines you is how you move forward.
Yeah.
So those would be some of the things that I would say. Love yourself.
Yeah.
Love yourself before anybody else.
Yeah.
Because if you don't love yourself, I can't love you for you.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
definitely gotta do the work. You definitely gotta love yourself and know that there is life and love after divorce. Watch this. And it doesn't matter how old you are. It
Mm.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many times you done been married. Like, somebody would look at me and be like, bro, you thinking about getting married a third time? Yes,
Yeah.
I am. And
Yeah.
the person that I'm going to marry is not going to get the rest of what's left of me, but they going to get the best of what I have yet to discover about myself.
Yes. Yes.
Because I've done the work.
Yeah.
Because I've done the work. You are not done, right? Ain't and and I'll say this and I'll be done. The thing that I was doing when I was trying to move forward, it was almost like I was trying to offer women the pieces of what was left.
Mm.
Like, it was almost like I was offering them as like a peace offering. And I was like, well, if you can handle, so what I would do is I would like give them all of the bad stuff. Like, I would be open and honest. Like, I would talk about my infidelity. I would talk
Mm.
about the times that I've messed up and the things that I had been through, thinking to myself, if you can accept this about me, then you got to be the one. Because if you can, like I said, if you can accept this and love me through this, we gonna be good. And what
Yeah.
I found out was I opened up and I gave the weight of my experiences to someone who was not ready or could not handle it. So
Mm.
then what happens is, when I do something that's reminiscent of my past, you start thinking in your head like, well, he did say he had infidelity issues in his past.
Yeah.
Well, he did say this. So now you're using what I told you against me. And I
Oh.
was trying to tell you this about myself so you could get a better understanding of the man that you were trying to be with.
Yeah.
So stop. Don't go forward like, here go my scars. If you can love me past these, then we can be together. Hell no. You
Yeah.
need to let that shit heal and go into the relationship and not give so much of your past at the beginning. because some people may not be worth it. So now you done told somebody all of your business on where you been, where you come from, and what you done been through. So now they know everything, and now they're like, oh no, they can't handle it.
Right.
So don't move forward in life with your arms out, with your wound, presenting your wounds. No, do the healing that you need to do on your own. So then when people encounter you, you are a totally different person.
Yeah.
You are not the same.
That's
I'm trying to tell you, there is a love out there for you. You just got to know that you are worth it.
Yes.
And you got to do the work to be able to handle it and sustain it.
Yes. That hit me because I remember there was a meme I saw like a while back. You know, it continues to circulate, but it was something like, I revealed myself to people who didn't deserve to know me like that. And that was the realest thing, because like so much of what you said, like I can identify with, and just like, yeah, man, I remember being like, well, we married, right? So like I can reveal all of this to you, like no mystery. This is who I am. And in the end, because divorce can get ugly if you getting ready to embark on that journey, you know, it looks real cute in the beginning where we're like, if we ever end, like we're never gonna end, but if we ever end, you know, we'll be amicable and we'll be nice to each other. No, man, like divorce happened, you looking at boo boo like you an alien. Who are you? They become completely different people, and so and that cuts that will cut you deep, and that's a part of healing and understanding that divorce will change a person. It will turn them into somebody you never saw before, but more than likely that's probably their true character. They just been hiding that from you. So you know,
Right.
be mindful of those things as you are moving along. um Divorce can be beautiful. You know, I walking out of a divorce, for me, I went through over a year of deep, dark depression. And I'm so thankful that God put my sister on a journey to become a pastor, because as she was in school, as she was learning, she was like preaching to me. And so I was able to work through that dark space. But not everybody is that fortunate, right? And also not saying that everybody is going to, you know, turn to God to come up out of a dark space, but you have to be mindful of like what you need, and know that there is beauty on the other side.
Yeah.
I look back now at being divorced, and I can say that was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Right.
Because although I lost so much, I gained so much more.
Right.
And again, there are places I've been, there are people I've met, there are experiences that I've had that I probably would have never had if I stayed in a toxic relationship. And so, you know, I wanted us to connect because we've had those experiences, and just for our testimony to be a blessing to someone else, because
Right.
someone else could be walking through some of that same stuff that we've been through. Either they cheating on somebody because they're not whole, or somebody's cheating on them because they're not whole, or they jumping from relationship to relationship, not really doing the work. And it's so important that you know, you sit with yourself and try to understand yourself, so that you don't continue to harm yourself and harm other people in the process. Because man, the last thing you want to do is cause a bunch of unnecessary pain to the person
Right.
who's supposed to be your forever.
Right. And I'll say this, and I know we're about to get off of here, but
Yeah.
you know, I told you, you know, I just got back from, you know, California, like
Mm.
driving out there with a
Second home, yeah, man.
very close friend of mine, and we stopped at the Grand Canyon. You know, I'd never been to the Grand Canyon. Um, Beautiful, right? And we were there as the sun was setting.
Oh,
Um, and beautiful, beautiful. But watching the sunset let me know how beautiful things can be when they're ending, because the sunset is symbolic of, I mean, the day is ending and it's so beautiful, right?
mm,
So we always look at something ending as being something negative, but that sunset let me know, hey, Robert, there's beauty in stuff ending, right?
yeah,
there is beauty in in things ending. So, like I said, the people who are out there listening to us right now know and understand that just because something is ending doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be a negative thing. You may be experiencing some pain.
Yeah.
Um, both times I got divorced, like, oh, you talking about pain, you talking about regret, you're talking about feeling like a failure, right? um but I learned, I grew, and there's beauty in like discovering new places and new depths within yourself. Like, you be like, what, I didn't even know like I had the capacity to be this person, like in a positive light. So I'm so grateful, thankful, humble, that you would, consider having a conversation with your boy.
Yeah.
I do want to say, Steph Love, that you are a dope ass individual. I appreciate you riding for your boy, supporting your boy. Real life putting me on, like giving me opportunities. I will never ever forget that. I'm definitely indebted to you, and I'm just looking forward to all of the incredible things that we're gonna do together. And I will even say that the people who are listening to this podcast on the radio, like I would even be willing to, like, when people hear this, like
Hmm.
if they wanted to like have like follow-up discussion or follow-up questions, like we could hop on a Zoom
Let's
and
do it,
like just like chop it up. Like
man.
bring you a bottle, bring you a cup. We gonna sip and we gonna have like some real live conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We are.
yeah.
I'm definitely gonna finish the rest of this. This was a full bottle, but yeah, we definitely out here in these streets. But Steph
Listen, man.
Love, hey, love you,
Yo,
much respect. Just thank you, man, for being the queen that you are. And I just want you to know the best is yet to come for you. I know you feel, how you feel about, your life and the things that you've been through. But listen, you ain't seen nothing yet.
I appreciate you speaking that blessing over my life, brother. I'm so appreciative that like we met. Just it was so crazy how we even connected in the first place, all through the conference that I run,
Yeah.
and I think our relationship just took off from there. You have such an incredible spirit. Your vibe is so dope, and I'm just excited for everything that's coming for you. Like the mixtape, y'all. Real talk. It's on all streaming services. Icebox Mixtape Volume One, ByLaw and Beto. It is straight fire. I told you like that my favorite track. I go back between Gorilla, and the drip prayer, right? 'Cause I'm like,
Oh yeah.
I want to drip, you know what I
I
mean? Like,
just want to drip. You know
you
what
know,
I mean? Hey, hey.
it's crazy. Like the music is crazy. I knew that we were in a different place in our relationship when you sent me the unreleased music, and I got to listen to that, and I was like, yo, he's speaking my life. Like we are bonded forever. You don't owe me nothing but to continue to be great, brother. I'ma always support you the way you support me.
Oh yeah.
We gotta hold each other up because if don't nobody else got us, we gotta have each other. You know what I mean?
Man,
So
listen.
listen, you just got off the road, and you still was like, nah, let me hop in this conversation with sis. And so I am so grateful for you carving out time and sitting here and sipping with me and
Oh yeah.
really dropping some gems because there's so many people out there sitting in situations like, should I stay? Should I go? Should I try again? And if we don't, you know, tell our truths so that other people can learn from it and grow from it, then what was the point of us having those experiences? God didn't put us through that for nothing.
Right.
Not to keep our life lessons to ourselves. So thank you for opening your life book and sharing a couple of pages out with the folk. Listen, people, here's the real. Do the work. Don't hop from one bed to the next, from one relationship to the next, because you're only, at the end of the day, if you're not doing the work to heal yourself, you're hurting yourself. And you are never going to experience the true and deep love that you are so deserving of. And trust me, I don't care what nobody has said to you, from a child to an adult. Each and every person on this earth is deserving of love, not just God's love, but another human love and compassion, forgiveness. And so we have to move in those directions. Um, You know, check the warning signs. Don't allow yourself to stay in situations that don't serve you. And I'm not talking about being self-serving. What can I get from this? But things, if you have a partner that's not pouring into you, you might need to step on out of that situation because you cannot continue to give from an empty cup. So evaluate your situation, evaluate yourself, be willing to compromise, be ready to grow. Understand that when you are in a marriage, especially a marriage, that each person is going to continue to evolve, and so you evolve together, you grow together. If your relationship is stagnant, if your growth is stagnant, then you're doing it wrong. So those are just some of the life lessons that I've learned, taking some of the things from my boy ByLaw. Again, check out the mixtape, Icebox Volume 1 on all streaming
Everywhere.
services. Y'all, we gonna hop off of this and finish sipping. But you know, I'm going on and on. I don't know, y'all. Maybe I'm rambling.
It's all good, man. Hey, keep moving forward, man. Keep your head up to make sure that crown stay on right. 'Cause when that head get to tilting, that crown get to tilting. We don't want the enemy to think that we falling off out here. You know what I mean?
Facts,
So
facts, man. Facts
keep your
on.
head up, and it's gonna get better one day at a time.
Yeah, man. Y'all, thank y'all for coming out again tonight. Maybe I'm rambling, maybe I'm not. Maybe we kick some real to you. Go on and process that, and we'll holla at you. We'll see you next week.
Peace.